Hi there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video we are going to show you the construction activity as well as tell you the quantity of material and its cost in today's terms for building this our 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex with a double volume sitting room. Stay tuned as we take you through the process. So, just as we keep saying on all our videos, our construction activity starts by setting out on the profile. So once we come to a site, the first thing we do is to square the land and of course bring out the building space. And once that has been done and confirmed, the building lines established, then we mark out all the internal and external walls. After that, then we tie the ropes and confirm that everything is still in place. Once we confirm that the line is still squared, then the next thing will be to pour the sand, which will give us something like this, like marking out all the foundation spaces on the ground floor. And after this, the excavation then begins. So excavation is then followed by the pouring of the concrete on the foundation trenches. In fact, there is a whole lot of activities that go on underground from inside the foundation to the DPC level. So this is a very important activity that needs to be taken good care of. Otherwise, it will lead to rework or poor work by the end of the day. So foundation is a very important stage. So in most cases and in most buildings, it takes more time than any other stage in the construction activity. And one important thing to state here is that each building is unique. That is why you are supposed to follow the structural drawing, the structural design for each particular building in each particular location. Because the structural drawing for a building in one location may be totally different from that of that same building in another location. So it's very important to state the location and of course use the location to do the design. Invariably, what works for a particular project in one place may not work for that same project in another place. So care should be taken to ensure that whatever is being done is for that project at that particular location. So at this point in this project, the block work to the DPC level had been completed and the plinth being cast. So this foundation is now ready for filling with laterite. And yeah, what we use for this particular project is laterite. That's the red mud that we all know. So that is what was used for this particular project for the filling. So one of the ways to save in your project is, of course, to consider and plan ahead. And then if you have a good access to your site, the best thing to buy if you want to buy sand or any other thing is to buy the larger the quantity you buy, the better for you. For instance, if you have a good access, it's better to buy the whole truck that will bring 30 tons of sand to your site rather than buying the Higgon one that will be bringing 7 to 8, 10 tons for you, right? Because in most cases we've come to understand that most of the cost goes to the transportation of the material to the site and not even the cost of the material itself. So it's better to buy these things in larger quantities, and you see that by the end of the day to save you some cost in the long run. So that is one of the tips that we are going to go home with today. Unless your site doesn't have a good access, then if that is the case, then you know that you have to think of, experiment and know the particular one that are coming. If whole truck cannot pass and access your site, you can check whether you can do double axle, which is about 15 tons. And if that cannot, then maybe you know that the only option you have is to resort to the 911, which is 7 to 7.5 tons. Now, after the filling is done, the next thing is to water the sand that was used for the filling very, very well. This actually causes a lot of problems in buildings. If the watering and compacting is not done well, you come to see that the DPC will fail. In some cases, if it doesn't fail outright, you start hearing some sound when you knock the ground. And that's because there is a hollow in between the DPC and the sand that has compacted by itself. So it is always good to water it very well. Water it until the whole thing drinks enough water and sinks. And when it now sinks, then you know you have achieved that. Then you add more sand and also compact and water. Compact very well so that you know that you have sand that has fairly compacted. It's actually more difficult during dry season when the sand is very dry. So if you are building during dry season, ensure that you do this watering very, very well, because it could cause a lot of problem for your DPC. So after the watering and compacting of the project at the DPC level, the next thing is to lay the DPM and then cast the DPC. So for this particular project, by the time the casting of the DPC was done, it was observed that the following materials had been used: 1 bag of 2 inches nails, 1 bag of 3 inches nails. The 2x2 that were used for the profile is 35, and of course 4 bundles of peg. Then the lines were 10, shovels and headpans 5 each. The total number of the bags of cement that were used was 230. Then the sand was the 5 trips of the 7.5 tons tipper. Then of course the 20 tons of chippings, we had 2. That was like that makes it 40 tons in all. The 16 mm rods we used was 42, while the 12 mm rods was 60. The 8mm rolls were 50. The binding wire was 1 roll. Then the 9 inches blocks were 4,000. Then the filling sand, we actually used the whole truck to do this filling, and it was 12 trips. That has the 30 tons of 12 30 tons trips. Then of course the sand gravel that we used for casting the DPC was 5 trips of the normal himpunwa. And of course the DPM that we used were 2 bundles. And of course there was provision for the boards, 120 pieces. So the total cost of all these materials that made this construction possible is, and that's in today's terms, is 12,756,750 naira. Whereas the total cost of all the labor, which includes every kind of labor that was done to bring this work to this level, was 2,200,000 naira. This brings the total cost of both material and labor to 14,956,750 naira. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you on the next one.